Are corporate subsidies welfare handouts? Well, my view on it coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason, and I want to say thank y'all for joining me again. Now, we know that the left hates corporations, they hate capitalism, basically that they benefit from, though. But anything that involves a private entity, businesses making profit, they're opposed to it. They say, they evil, racist, corporations, the evil, greedy, rich people that's taking all the money, the income gap, all this other foolishness. So anytime you start talking about, the welfare system and how the welfare system keeps people lazy, and we see the evidence of this in the black community, we see the evidence of this in plenty of Native American reservations, right? And we see the evidence of this in history and the common sense and the logic of it, right? Well, anytime they say that, the first thing they'll talk about is, quote unquote corporate welfare, right? Or subsidies that's paid out to companies. They'll say, well, there's more corporate welfare than there's handouts to single moms. Even though it's true, but again, the question it has to be asked, is corporate subsidies welfare? Well, let's look at that. Now, let's say that you have let me give you an example of a corporate subsidy, right? Now, let's say that a car company, let's say Toyota was thinking about opening up a manufacturing plant in the United States of America, right? Now, there are plenty of assembly plants in this country, car assembly plants, but assembly and manufacturing are different things. There's a big difference between assembling the parts at a car factory and the factory that actually manufactures those parts, which are usually done in China and Malaysia and countries like that, the manufacturer. Well, let's say that Toyota, because of the tariffs, right, they want to open up a manufacturing plant in America. Now, they're looking around, looking for places to build this plant, right? And of course, if all the governors of the states would like to have that plant in their state for various reasons, right? The economic benefit of those plants, right? It's going to put people to job. It's going to equal to tax base for them. So, and all the governors are going to be getting that Toyota vying for it, them to open that plant in their state. Now, let's say that you are the governor of a state, picking a state, generally in the South though, because mostly these are right to work states. But let's say that you are the governor of a state and you want to entice Toyota to open up the plant in your state. So you give them an offer. You say, well, look, as an incentive for you to open a plant in our state, we will cover half the cost of the plant. Whatever it is, we'll cover half the cost of building the plant, the manufacturing plant, and we usually charge companies and corporations 10%. We'll charge you 7%, okay? And this is all to entice you to open up their plant in our state. Now, obviously, you are offering them something less than you usually do it, but you're only doing this to entice them to build a plant in your state. Now, let's say you win the contract because you offer Toyota the most lucrative deal, and they build a plant in your state, employing, let's say, 1,400 workers, 1,400 people who ordinarily wouldn't be working, making salaries that's above the average, well above retail, and they're paying taxes. Now, let's say that this basically a manufacturing plant is open for, you estimate it'll be open for 50 years. And you also estimate it'll take you, say, 4 or 5 years to recover all the cost, to overcome the cost of the plant, and to overcome the cost of only charging them 7% tax. It'll take you 4 years to recover from that, and then you have 45 years of profit from it. So a question I have to ask, is that welfare or is that an investment? Well, obviously the answer to that question, that's an investment, okay? Corporate welfare, or corporate subsidies, as they want to call it, welfare, or is not welfare. is an investment. A state invest into a corporation, give them incentive to want to do business in their state. There's no difference in if I take my money and I buy stock, or I invest in a 401k retirement plan, or a Roth plan, something like that. I'm investing in something. Now, is a possibility that I can lose my investment? Sure. It's always a risk. Just like it's a risk that that plant may close down in 3 years or something like that, or it may take them 15 years to recover. It's an investment. It could, say you invest in something and hoping to have gain, but it's not a handout. It's not a welfare handout. It's an investment in trying to entice Toyota to open a plant. So this is what they complain about, corporate subsidies, when they're saying that this is welfare. It's not welfare. That's a far cry from welfare paid out to welfare queens, keeping them lazy. Okay, keeping them lazy and dependent upon government, which they're going to always be lazy and dependent upon government, and government's going to have to take care of them. Okay, that's a liability. Bringing that company, that Toyota, that manufacturing plant in your state, that's an asset. So there's a big difference between corporate welfare, as they say, and money paid out to, in general welfare paid out to welfare queens, right? So anyway, the next time you hear people cry about quote unquote corporate welfare and how all this money being paid out to all this welfare is being paid out to corporations, well, now you know, and knowing it's half the battle. And as always, y'all, until next time.